Hello there my fellow Holotable heroes and welcome to another Sith Raid solo video. Now I've done recently an updated guide there showing how Supreme the Color Rank can quite easily, stress-free, RNG-free solo the entire Sith Raid, obviously with a few characters used there. Now, not to be outdone by his grandson, Vader wants to join in the party, solo party as well, but for this case, Kylo, you just need one Vaders, you will need two Vaders.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them.
Yeah, you will need Lord Vader, but we'll be utilizing Darth Vader lead. So speaking of the team comp, let's just go in now and let me show you the team that I'm using here. So the core here trio really is Darth Vader lead, then Lord Vader and Grand Admiral Thrawn. So that's your core three. I've even seen people soloing the entire here raid just with three of these characters, but as you can see, my relics are not that high, so I don't think I would be able to pull that off. Trey is a good option there as the fourth slot, because whenever you hit isolated enemies there, you will be getting critical damage up, so a little bit boosting your damage. And then fifth one, I used Watt in this video, but to be honest, he didn't really do a whole lot. So maybe Hermit Yoda would be better option there, because Master's Training buff will give 25% extra offense to both Vaders, so they can do some big damage. Now looking at Vader's lead, in case you do need a reminder, it does really two things once you do obviously apply Zeta on it. Is that you get 50% chance to remove 20% turn meter, and this turn meter removal cannot be resisted, which is very important because, as you probably know, bosses have very high tenacity. I mean, Science turn meter cannot be removed anyway, and Traya when toppled, but at least, you know, Nihilus especially, you do want to keep removing his turn meter in phase 1, so you can actually have enough time to build up your damage. And on top of this, whenever damage over times expire, they will get reapplied. So essentially, you will build up so much damage over times, then they will never expire, so you'll be able to do some big damage. In terms of modding on my Darth Vader, I do have speed on him here, and as well as offense. Maybe it's an overkill, I'm not sure. I just wanted to make sure to get this done. In terms of Lord Vader, now why is he a key piece as well here is because of his unique Twisted Prophecy. So whenever Lord Vader gets a turn, he will apply 2 damage over times on the enemies, which cannot be resisted. And this is important because of the high tenacity. You know, very rarely either Watt or their Darth Vader with his Force Crush will be able to apply damage over times on the enemy. So this is really your main source here of damage over times from his unique, and as well his special also, but mainly you will notice from his unique. In terms of modding, I modded him for offense instead of speed because he's fast, he's a Galactic Legend anyway, and he, you know, as well with his stacking damage, he will be start doing some big hits eventually as well. Thrawn here, nothing special, just some speed on him, that will be enough, to be honest. And then Traya, I added speed on her as well, but probably it's an overkill. Now why I want Traya in here obviously is because of her isolate buff on raid bosses. Obviously gaining buffs, they don't really gain buffs, while Nihilus can steal buffs, I guess, in phase 1. But the more important thing is whenever you do damage the bosses there with isolate, you will be getting critical damage up, which will obviously further boost the damage for both of your Vaders. And there we go. Added lots of speed on her, but probably she doesn't even need it. I don't know. Probably an overkill again in terms of modding department. Finally, Watt here, just some speed on him as well. I do have him modded for potency, just in case maybe then his basic, when he assists, when somebody with tech uses a special ability, he can remove some turn meter, but this turn meter mover can be resisted and apply damage over time, which again can be resisted, and in most cases it does. That's why probably I would prefer actually maybe Hermit Yoda in that 5th slot over Watt on board, but that 5th character won't really be needed, you will see, because I will lose Watt quite early. But anyway, just start off, I'm going to put weapon tech on their Lord Vader, so hopefully he can get more turns, you know, getting some extra bonus turn meter there because of the weapon tech. And going to first Merciless here, and throwing Calling Blade, and then, you know, you can use the size to get some extra turns with Vader, so he will quickly get back over to another Calling Blade. So whenever I isolate, I actually target Darth Vader, so I reduce his cooldown, so we can quickly get back to another Calling Blade, to another Merciless, so, you know, you can cycle through his Calling Blades quite quickly. Because unlike a challenge P rank or raid, you know, you don't have to hold off, you can just keep chucking that Calling Blade whenever you can. Bosses' stats won't increase really, you know, with the more damage you deal with them. So we go, at this point we got a Fracture as well on Nihilus, which will reduce his speed by 50%, and also Fracture itself can remove Center Meter as well, which can be resisted, but remember, Fracture hits 4 times, and for each of those hits it has 50% chance to remove 20% turn meters. Definitely Fracture is a good way, you know, to push back Nihilus's turn meter when you need to. Other than this, very straightforward run. Keep using specials whenever you can with Lord Vader. Traya, whenever she isolates, target Darth Vader to reduce his cooldowns. Thrawn then obviously keeps feeding turn meter to either of the Vaders. There we go, so you can see, keeps resisting there. Traya, she's Sith, so you know, she will also be removing turn meter because the turn meter removal is for both Sith and Empire. So there we go, resisting everything. Fracture there, hitting 4 times, and because of Vader's lead, this turn meter removal wasn't able to be resisted. Again, isolating there. Nihilus targeting Vader. So it's a pretty straightforward run, to be honest. I feel like it's more kind of automatic run than with Supreme the Color, and there you have to be a little bit more strategic of, you know, when to use Stasis Strike, when to do AoEs and things like that. This run, to be honest, even though it took about 25 minutes, same as Supreme the Color run, it just seems more straightforward. It's pretty much just, you know, getting Lord Vader as many turns as you can, so he keeps applying damage over time, and then just chucking Calling Blade. I have to use now, what is it, Unbreakable Will, I think called. I use it there on Watt, just to eat up that first Annihilate. There we go. Unfortunately there I won't be able to heal up Watt, so he will die off whenever Nihilus gets his next turn. There we go. So this point, that's what I'm saying, like Watt probably not even needed. So if you want this to be on the safer side, maybe use Her Meteora just to boost offense on your Vaders even further. But other than that, as you can see, very straightforward, just speeding up the footage. You know, nothing can really go wrong here, to be honest. Vader keeps lots of turns. Whenever his ultimate is ready, go ahead and use it. So he himself, there we go, he's doing some nice damage already. Alright, here we go, we're down to 25% on Nihilus. Let's see if we can get him out. Enter Merciless. Let's go ahead and chuck this. Oh, it wasn't quite enough there. Still about 2.5% left. Let's see if we can get him out before he gets to his Annihilate ability. Otherwise, I'll have to use on somebody Unbreakable Will again. Okay, I'll just do a basic over here, and that should do it. So there we go. He dealt damage 3 times, like 3 times 200k, so that was enough there to finish off Nihilus. And now heading into phase 2. Now phase 2 is even more straightforward than phase 1, to be honest, just because you don't have to worry about Annihilate. Potentially you could even hit auto at this point in phase 2. You can give it a go and see. I just didn't want to botch this run when I was recording. Otherwise, same thing as phase 1. You keep kind of, you know, trying to get those damage over times applied through Lord Vader taking as many turns. We got 10 already, perfect. Let's just go ahead, chuck the blade, and now we can go ahead apply Isolate on Cyan. Now Cyan, obviously, he has counterattack chance. Fracture will reduce that counterattack chance, I think, by 30%. But here now, there we go, got into ultimate. We got a lot of now damage over times already. Let's go into Merciless, chuck the Calling Blade, and you know, just pretty much rinse and repeat. That's why definitely I feel like if you do have both Supreme the Color and Lord Vader, I feel like Lord Vader is more automatic. Like, you know, you just keep going, you don't really have to pay much to attention what you're doing. You're just hitting your specials, calling Cyan whenever you can, and reducing cooldowns with Traya on your Darth Vader, so he can cycle through his Calling Blades and Merciless more frequently. It's good to do Merciless, even though, for example, you know, you just have one target, right? Because Merciless will be one turn, then you will do another hit in Merciless, and then another hit. So basically, when you use Merciless, it's kind of you're doing 3 turns, which will allow you to cycle through those Calling Blades really quickly, much faster than if you would be saving Merciless, for example, for when the sights come out that you have more targets. There you go, we're already down here to 7%, so very straightforward run. Phase 2 prop, I said potentially phase 2 could even be here autoable. I think you could not autoplay it quite easily, to be honest, because there is really no trick there as it is with Nihilus, where you have to use Unbreakable Will and things like that. There we go, they're bringing in now the sides. Just going to now just do an AoE, get more damage over times, why not? Throw that Calling Blade, and down goes Sion. Alright, on to phase 3 now. Traya here, this potentially could be another soloable phase, I don't know, but Traya could be tricky with her isolate, and then these sabers there can cause some issues as well sometimes. But lucky, like if your Darth Vader does get ability blocked or something because of Traya's unique there, because obviously his Sith will cleanse of those debuffs anyway. So that's why Traya here I think is useful as well, on top of obviously isolating, that gives you critical damage up when you hit their bosses, and as well, you know, reducing cooldowns on your Darth Vader. Here obviously the target here is to get Traya down before she gets her first turn. There potentially I could have fractured her, removed her turn meter, but I just decided to play it safe. There you go, my first Calling Blade, not doing much, but you know, we're just getting started here. Let's get more dose damage over time, get that fracture applied, which will reduce the speed of Traya, so she stays toppled for longer. And as she comes out, she'll isolate somebody. In this case, my Lord Vader was isolated. But other than that, business as usual. Keep fracturing, swapping turn meter with Darth Vader. Lord Vader keeps doing his thing, and Traya keeps, you know, isolating, reducing cooldowns on your Darth Vader. There we go, and just keep going, really. Just speeding up the footage again. Not much else to say here. This was as well a very straightforward run here, to be honest. I don't see anything going wrong here, and especially if you do bring in Hermit Yoda, as I mentioned earlier, you know, then both of your Vaders will be doing 25% more damage because they will have more offense. So definitely, I think bringing Hermit Yoda would they make even quicker, even easier. There you go, big Calling Blade. I think that was about 20%, wasn't it? There we go, and just keep going. I think one more big Calling Blade and we should be good to go here. Oh, not quite. Alright, there we go, keep going. Basics. Okay, here we go. Alright, keep going. Yeah, I said nothing, you know, nothing can really go wrong here. Even if Traya, I don't know, maybe if she isolates Darth Vader, that could cause some issues, but I don't know. So yeah, definitely to make this safer, I would bring in Hermit Yoda. Extra healing, right? More damage. Let's go ahead into Merciless now, and I can just do a basic over there on one saber, and now I have Calling Blade ready to be chucked, and down goes Traya and into phase 4. Now, unlike Supreme Kylo Ren, where you want to go after Sion first, here's opposite. You want to go after Nihilus first. So just to get him out, and then we'll worry about Sion later. There we go, just did an AoE. Hey, there we go. Actually, Darth Vader was able to apply some damage over times because it was first turn, so they didn't have stacking tenacity yet. So he was able actually to get some of those damage over times out. Let's go into ultimate. Whenever it's ready, you just always pop it. Let's do here a special attack, get more damage over times. There we go. Here comes minions back. There we go. Obviously, you do have to keep track on this. Whatever it's called, bonds of weakness, was it there? Was it something? You know, these blue, their buffs the Traya is getting. The more she has, the more damage you're getting whenever you get a turn. Whenever you get to about 20, you just want to use Soothe there, so any of the support characters can use that. So there you go, my Darth Vader got isolated, so just I use that event ability to remove isolation from him. So attackers can remove isolations, and support can soothe and removes those stacks from Traya. That's why having maybe Hermit Yoda here, another support character there that can do that, I think that would be helpful as well. Other than that, maybe try to avoid using too many AoEs here, because then obviously this will feed turn meter to Sion. So for example here, I decided to go into Merciless, throw Calling Blade. Here I would have hit Darth Sion anyway, so I did AoE, because, you know, Force Crush won't really apply any debuffs. So in a lot of cases, even though your Darth Vader will have an AoE ready, Force Crush, just maybe do basic on Nihilus, to be honest, because you don't want to feed extra turn meter to Sion. Other than that, business as usual, as a lot of phases. Just gotta keep an eye out here on Nihilus's cooldowns when he got Drain ready. Just to make sure that he doesn't immediately. So there you go. I could have used Force Crush there, but I did use basic on Darth Vader. Now here, I was looking at it. So Nihilus, he's got four turns to annihilate. So if he gets a turn and all my 4 characters have debuffs on them, he will be able to annihilate straight away. So just try to avoid getting debuffs by hitting there. Scion got debuffed anyways, so at this point I have 2 characters debuffed. There we go. Now Traya will take a turn on. Make sure to use a special here. Well, I guess Lord Vader had debuff on him anyways, but yeah, you want to use special. And look at this tricky bit. This can maybe a little bit go wrong sometimes. What if his cooldown would be on 2, then Traya reduces his cooldowns and then he does drain. So maybe that could something go wrong, because unfortunately we have no way of seeing Traya's cooldowns. But anyway, I was able to take out Nihilus before he even got to his first Annihilate in the end anyways. So, you know, definitely with Hermit Yoda with more damage, I think you don't even have to worry about that first Annihilate coming from Nihilus at all, because you will be doing more damage than I would anyways. Plus, obviously my Darth Vader, he's Relic 7, and my Lord Vader only Relic 6. So definitely some of you with high relics out there, this will be even easier. Sign goes down in a matter of seconds, as you see. We just took it down very, very quickly. Now this maybe is a slightly trickier bit sometimes than using Supreme Color Ren, because obviously Traya, she's got no damage over times on her. So here instead I swapped here with Lord Vader instead of Darth Vader, just to get more damage over times on Traya, so we can stack up that damage. You gotta keep an eye out on that enrage counter on Traya obviously, but this enrage counter is slightly broken. So even though it shows 8, it's probably more like 10 turns or something. I'm not sure exactly how this works. But definitely, you know, want to keep an eye out on that, when to use Unbreakable Wheel at the right time, because if Traya hits enrage and takes out your Darth Vader, you know, your run will be ruined at this point. But for now, as you can see, just keeping a track there on her counter there on the range is down to 5. That's for the Calling Blade. There we go, do it at a 10% already. She's going after Throne at this point. I'm just going to basic. Let's reduce cooldowns on Darth Vader and just keep going. Alright, yeah, okay, Darth Vader taking a few hits without any issues. Just gonna do basic there, special attack over here, and okay, so we're down to three turns to enrage, even though in the end I think will be more. Let's swap now with Vader. We can throw Calling Blade. Traya, probably just basic is better because he does less hits, right? So you don't have feed extra there. Turn me to Traya. Now suddenly Traya is down to 1. Not sure how she got down from 3 to 1, but there you go. Going into Merciless, just basics, because the end of the day basics will do more damage, and Force Crush will not really apply at this point any damage over times. Okay, so there you go. I used Unbreakable Wheel with my Traya just in case enemy Traya does hit and rage, but as you will see, it will still be a couple of turns before she does that. So definitely, I think, you know, you could a little bit hold on to later if you'd want to, but I just wanted to be on the safe side. I didn't want any surprises there, because you never know here what's going to happen with Traya. She's taking so many turns, and suddenly, there we go, she's enraged. Luckily there, I did have Unbreakable Wheel on my Lord Vader. Let's isolate again. Now here, let's go ahead and use Unbreakable Wheel with Throne, because obviously I do want to keep my Darth Vader active in action, so we can hopefully take out Traya. Let's throw the Calling Blade, and boom, down she goes. So there you go. I was playing it safe. You know, I just used that Unbreakable Wheel with Traya there, and it was still okay, even though I started that Unbreakable Wheel a bit earlier. And down goes Traya, solo completed. You know, overall I would say it definitely feels a little bit kind of less engaging maybe than Supreme Little Color and solo. You just kind of keep chucking Calling Blade over and over again, except this last bit with Traya. I feel like, you know, with Kylo at this point your damage would be so high up, you would just in about 3-4 hits finish off Traya, whereas here could get a little bit maybe close sometimes. That's why I'm definitely recommending to bring in Hermit Yoda as the 5th, because this will significantly boost damage to both of your Vaders. And I would really apply Master Training only on the 2 of them, because if you apply on others, then they will get calling to assist, feeding more turn meter to the bosses. So yeah, definitely we'll be trying out Jedi Master Kenobi next, because, you know, there was as well some comments if I can give that a go, just so that we can compare which solo, for those that, you know, are fortunate enough to have all of these Galactic Legends unlocked already, is kind of the easiest and most straightforward. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one, but until then, have fun, enjoy life, and may the RNG be with you, my friends.